Alright, so back on the CB450, and I'm going to take off the rear wheel and swing arm. And this one gave me a lot of trouble. This rear wheel especially, it was locked together. Here I am taking the axle nut off. That wasn't the hard part. And what is it with crescent wrenches? You take them off a nut, you go to put it back on the same nut, and the crescent wrench has gotten smaller. Somebody needs to do a video on that. Why does that happen? Alright, so normally you just give this a whack and normally it will move. This one did not move. So I'm going to loosen up the chain adjusters to make sure they're not binding. And the chain adjuster on the other side was tight, which told me that it was corroded to the axle itself. Some WD down in there, and try to work it free. I'm not hitting it real hard here, but I'm hitting it pretty hard. And you see how much it's moving. These pieces were locked together. And I'm going to try to use a punch to rotate the shaft itself. That doesn't work. So I ran out of WD, so I got some PB Blaster here. I don't know if any of you guys watch AVE, but he did a test and WD worked better than PB Blaster. That was kind of surprising. But the PB worked this time. So now I'm going to hit it again now that I've got broke free. And it does start to move. Got a little bit of gap there now. They are not normally this hard to take out. Obviously this bike had been sitting a while. Still can't rotate the shaft there, or the axle. But eventually I do. Get it moving, get some more liquid in there, keep it moving. I don't like to knock these out if I don't have to. I'd rather pull them out. I don't think you'd ever bend one, but you could certainly slip with your punch in there and hit a thread and create more work for yourself. So now I got it to where I'm thinking it's about to break and slide out. There it goes. And now I'm celebrating my victory. Okay, now we're going to take the spacers off, and I like to put the spacers back on the way they came off, back on the axle. That way you don't have to look in books and figure out where the thing went or do trial and error. You know it went that way. As long as you know which side you're inserting in, you know it, you got it. There's another spacer on this side. I actually thought there was another spacer in there, and I'm digging for it and I didn't see it, so maybe not. So I put those back together and keep that all together like that. Good housekeeping. Alright, I should have taken this off before I took the axle out, but either way. This is the brake stay arm. It's got a cotter pin through it. This one had a piece of wire through it. It wasn't really a cotter pin. Get that out. And I think these are 12 millimeter. This one was also corroded to the bolt, so I had to knock it free. Those usually just pop off. And get the wheel off. And let's see what the brakes look like. Oh. Oh yeah, that's right. This is what 40-year-old brakes will do. They just completely delaminated from the brake shoes. You know, you'd think they'd make things last a little longer, but you know, whatever. I'll take the shocks off now. That's pretty simple, just 4 bolts. And you can take the chain guard off if you want, but it's actually easier to get to the front bolt with the swing arm. Just leave it on the swing arm. And this swing arm was a little tight. They're normally a little tight, but this one was a little bit too tight. Take the other side of the brake stay arm off. And of course it's rusted together too. It does come out eventually. And then most of these bikes have what looks like a Zerk fitting on one side and just a nut on the other side. You want to take the nut off and pound it out the opposite direction. I couldn't find my socket on this, obviously. I think this is the same size as the axle, although I might be wrong about that. And I'm going to spray some PB inside there just to get things moving. Again, I don't like driving them through as much as I like pulling them through. It just seems they don't get bad scratches or if there's any problem in there or whatnot. So I'm going to drive it till it's flush, and then I'm going to go to the other side and I'm going to start turning it just to get that PB blaster working in there. And then I did have to use a punch here, but like I said, I'd rather pull it out. As soon as you get past the frame wall here with the threads, though, it usually will pull out by hand. Just like that. And once again, guys, thanks for watching. And please like, subscribe, share, hit the bell button, whatever you got to do. Thanks again.